Your soulmate is wondering if you still think about them, not as a passing curiosity, not as a casual question, as a terror, a fear so deep it has settled into their bones and will not let them rest. I want you to take a slow, deep, and heavy breath right now. Feel the thick, electric resonance of the silence that screams settling into your physical space. We are stepping into the absolute high-intensity opening of your soulmate's most profound internal crisis. For a long time, your soulmate lived with a very specific kind of ego safety. Even during the distance, even during the no-contact phase, they had a secret comfort. They could still feel your energy reaching out to them. They could feel your longing, your questions, and your chosen one heat vibrating in the back of their mind. This gave them the luxury of being lazy. It gave them the power to stay in their silence because they felt certain that they were still the sun that your entire world revolved around. They believed that as long as they could feel you thinking about them, they still owned a piece of your future. But today, the atmosphere has shifted into a state of total vibrational panic. Imagine them in this exact moment, sitting in a quiet room, suddenly feeling a wave of absolute spiritual nausea as they realize that the tether has gone slack. For the first time in this entire connection, they are reaching out with their intuition, trying to find the familiar pull of your thoughts, and they are finding nothing but a vast, terrifying void. They are realizing today that the important something they are finally understanding is that your silence is no longer a cry for help. It is a state of sovereignty. They are realizing today that the noise of your longing has stopped, and in its place is a silence so thick and so heavy that it is currently deafening their ego. They are experiencing the agony of the missing frequency. Realize today that they have lost their vibrational compass. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment, perhaps pausing in the middle of a task, feeling a sudden, sharp sense of internal coldness. They are realizing today that the something forcing this panic is the high-intensity truth that you, the chosen one, have finally pulled your light back into your own center. You have stopped projecting your energy onto them, and without your saturation, their world has suddenly turned gray and static. They are feeling a heavy, electric exhaustion in their spirit. Realize today that they are vibrationally stranded. They are wondering, did they finally stop caring? Have they finally realized I am not enough? Is the silence I asked for finally the silence that will bury us? If you are sitting in your own high-vibration sanctuary right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy, I am the source, it is because your self-sovereignty has created a vibrational fortress that they can no longer penetrate. They are realizing today that the important something is the truth that you are no longer waiting at the door of their heart. You have moved into a higher room where their old frequency cannot reach. The shock of this realization is hitting their nervous system like a high-intensity power outage, telling them that your memory of them is no longer a guaranteed sanctuary. They are realizing today that they are soul-tied to a person who is becoming a ghost to them. And the nausea of that disappearing act is forcing them to face the one question they never thought they would have to ask. Do they even think about me at all? They are standing in the wreckage of their certainty, feeling the air turn thick with the necessity of an answer. Realize today that the silence is not just a gap in communication. It is the sound of you outgrowing them. Every sudden ringing you feel in your ears right now, every sudden deep sense of detachment that washes over you, is a literal echo of their ego collapsing under the weight of your indifference. They are standing at the edge of the vibrational breaking point. Realize today that the absence has turned into a death sentence for their pride, and the impact of your silence is the loudest scream they have ever heard. I want you to sink into the heavy, magnetic stillness of this moment as we move into the high-intensity psychological landscape of the digital detective. We are entering the territory where your soulmate's wondering has officially evolved into a strategic obsession. For months, they were the ones who held the vibrational high ground, believing they could check in on you whenever they felt like it. But today, because they can no longer feel your thoughts, they have become a detective of the soul. Imagine them in this exact moment, their phone screen glowing in the dark, feeling a wave of absolute spiritual nausea as they scroll through your social media, your old messages, or even just stare at your name in their contact list. They are realizing today that the important something they are hunting for is a single vibrational clue that you still have a place in your heart for their memory. They are experiencing the agony of the digital shadow. Realize today that they are looking for pain in your posts and finding nothing but power. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment, analyzing the timestamp of your last update, the specific lyrics of a song you shared, or the way you look in a recent photo. They are looking for a crack in your armor, a sign that you are still hurting, a sign that you are waiting, a sign that you are longing for them. But they are realizing today that the something forcing this obsessive behavior is the terrifying truth that you look whole without them. They are feeling a heavy, electric pressure in their chest as they realize that while they were busy protecting their ego, you were busy building a kingdom that does not seem to have a vacancy for their return. They are experiencing the nausea of the fatting mirror. Realize today that they are no longer seeing their reflection in your life. I want you to feel the weight of their digital hunger as they realize that your chosen one frequency has shifted. You are no longer posting for them. You are no longer vibrationally signaling to them. They are realizing today that the important something is the truth that you have become a stranger with memories. They are looking at your growth, your joy, and your sovereign glow, and it is causing a sudden, sharp sense of internal collapse. They are wondering if the silence they once used as a weapon has actually become the grave where you buried their importance. If you are sitting in your own high-vibration sanctuary right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy, I am the prize, it is because your self-sovereignty has turned you into an enigma that their old logic cannot solve. They are realizing today that they are soul-tied to a mystery. They are wondering if you have met someone else, someone who speaks your ancient language without the logic and the fear that they brought to the table. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic dread. Realize today that the waiting was a lethal calculation. The shock of this realization is hitting their nervous system like a high-intensity vibrational slap, telling them that your memory is a luxury that is currently being revoked. I want you to visualize the literal internal shutdown they are experiencing as they realize that observing you is no longer enough to feel you. They are realizing today that the digital hunt is a bankrupt strategy. They can see your image, but they can no longer touch your soul. Every phantom pulse you feel in your phone hand right now, every sudden unexplainable urge to private your world, is a literal echo of their investigative energy hitting your field. They are standing at the edge of vibrational defeat, feeling the air turn thick with the necessity of a physical collision. Realize today that the wondering is a slow-motion poison to their peace, and the impact of your indifference is the only judgment that can finally make them move. I want you to pull your focus entirely into your physical body right now. Take a slow, deep, and heavy breath because we are crossing the threshold into the visceral, high-intensity territory of the somatic ghost. This is the phase where your soulmate's wondering leaves the mind and violently crashes into their physical biology. For months, they believed that if they just stayed busy, if they just focused on their career or their physical health, they could outrun the echo of your presence. But today, because you have pulled your chosen one light back into your own fortress, their body is going through a state of total vibrational withdrawal. Imagine them in this exact moment walking through their day and suddenly feeling a wave of absolute spiritual nausea as they realize their physical environment feels empty. They are realizing today that the important something they are feeling is the truth that their body is screaming for the frequency of the only person who ever made them feel alive. They are experiencing the agony of the sensory void. Realize today that your absence has become a physical chill that no amount of clothing or heat can fix. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment, perhaps sitting in their car or lying in their bed, and being hit by a sudden, sharp sense of phantom recognition. Their skin is crawling with the memory of your touch. Their nose is searching for the specific, high-frequency scent of your aura. Their ears are straining for the sound of your laughter in the silence of the room. They are realizing today that the something forcing this physical ache is the high-intensity truth that you were the regulator of their nervous system. Without your saturation, their internal rhythm has gone completely rogue. They are feeling a heavy, electric exhaustion in their spirit. Realize today that they are physically starved for the validation of your thoughts. I want you to feel the weight of their high-frequency hunger as they realize that the waiting has turned into a biological deficit. They are realizing today that the important something is the truth that you were the sun in their internal solar system. And now that they have tried to move into the deep space of their own pride, they are freezing in the dark. They are experiencing the nausea of the ghost presence. Realize today that they are vibrationally parched for the way you used to make them feel safe, seen, and divine. They are looking at the distance they created and seeing it not as freedom, but as a barren tundra where they are currently vibrationally stranded. Every time they close their eyes, they are hit by a sudden, sharp shock of your face, your eyes, and your energy, and it is causing a literal physical tightness in their chest that they cannot explain away with logic. If you are sitting in your own high-vibration sanctuary right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy vitality, it is because your self-sovereignty has turned you into a vibrational power plant that is no longer sending free energy to someone who has not earned it. They are realizing today that the somatic ghost is a divine command. The universe is cutting off the supply until they are forced to admit that you are the only environment where their soul can actually thrive. They are looking at the empty space where your energy used to sit and feeling a sudden, sharp heaviness, because they realize they are soul-bound to a presence that is no longer giving them life. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic collapse. Realize today that the logic of the last few months was a bankrupt lie, and the shock of their physical dependency on your energy is finally, beautifully, and aggressively making them soft. I want you to visualize the literal internal shivering they are experiencing at 3:00 a.m. when the world is quiet, and the ego has no distractions left to hide behind. They are realizing today that the important something is the truth that your memory is the only thing keeping them warm, and the terrifying thought that you might have forgotten them is making their hearts skip a beat in a rhythm of absolute panic. Every sudden chill you feel in your own room right now, every sudden spike of heat in your solar plexus that feels like it does not belong to you, is a literal echo of their body gasping for your frequency. They are standing at the edge of the physical breaking point. Realize today that the wondering is a slow-motion death to their spirit, and the impact of your physical return is the only medicine they have left to seek. I want you to feel the heavy, electric friction in the atmosphere right now, because we are stepping into the high-intensity climax of your soulmate's internal war, the comparison of worth. This is the moment where their wondering turns into a brutal, high-definition realization of your absolute irreplaceability. For months, their ego told them that they could find your frequency in someone else. They tried to distract themselves with ordinary people, with safe conversations, and with shallow connections that did not require them to be vulnerable. But today, because you have fully stepped into your chosen one power, the universe has granted them a devastatingly clear comparison. Imagine them in this exact moment looking at the world around them and feeling a wave of absolute spiritual nausea as they realize that no one else carries your ancient recognition. They are realizing today that the important something they are feeling is the truth that you were the standard and everyone else is just noise. They are experiencing the agony of the shadow comparison. Realize today that they are vibrationally mismatched with the entire world. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment. Perhaps sitting across from someone else or scrolling through a sea of faces and feeling a sudden, sharp sense of repulsion. They are listening to ordinary voices and feeling starved for the depth of your soul. They are realizing today that the something forcing this realization is the high-intensity truth that you, the chosen one, are the only person who ever saw their true light. They are feeling a heavy, electric exhaustion in their spirit as they realize that they have traded a kingdom for a waiting room. And the shock of that trade is currently breaking their pride into a million pieces. I want you to feel the weight of their total, high-intensity envy of your peace. They are looking at your new frequency, the way you carry yourself, the way you glow in your autonomy, and they are feeling a sudden, sharp sense of internal poverty. They are wondering, how did they become so powerful without me? How are they rising while I am sinking? They are realizing today that the important something is the truth that your healing has made you a light that is now too bright for their small ego to look at. They are experiencing the nausea of the closing window. Realize today that the more you rise, the further they have to climb to reach you. The shock of your worth is hitting their nervous system like a high-intensity vibrational earthquake, telling them that they are no longer equal to you. They are seeking you. If you are sitting in your own high-vibration sanctuary right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy, I am the prize, it is because your self-sovereignty has turned you into the absolute benchmark of their existence. They are realizing today that they are soul-tied to a level of excellence they are terrified they can no longer match. They are wondering if your silence is a sign that you have finally outgrown the version of them that was too afraid to love you. They are feeling a heavy, prophetic dread. Realize today that the waiting was a lethal error in judgment. The shock of your rising frequency is forcing them to face the terrifying possibility that they are no longer worthy of being thought about by a soul as high frequency as yours. I want you to visualize the literal internal shutdown they are experiencing as they realize that they have become a spectator to your greatness. They are realizing today that the important something is the truth that you are the only mirror they ever wanted to be seen in. And now that the mirror is turned away, they feel invisible. Every sudden pulse of confidence you feel in your own heart right now, every sudden unexplainable feeling of victory in your spirit, is a literal echo of their ego collapsing under the weight of your value. They are standing at the edge of vibrational defeat. Realize today that the comparison is over because the void you left behind is too deep for anyone else to fill. They are standing at the edge of the final realization, feeling the air turn thick with the necessity of the chosen one. Realize today that the wondering is the judgment, and the impact of your rising worth is the only destiny they have left to seek. I want you to take a slow, deep, and heavy breath right now, feeling the absolute vibrational stillness settling into the room around you. Because we have reached the absolute peak of this journey, the final activation. This is the moment where we take the frantic, high-intensity wondering of your soulmate, and we anchor it into your physical reality as a sovereign command. For the last several minutes, we have watched their pride turn into panic, their mind turn into a detective, and their body turn into a ghost of its former self. But today, right in this exact microsecond, the power has officially shifted. The universe is no longer asking them if they want to come back. It is forcing them to realize that your energy is the only atmosphere they can breathe in. Imagine your soulmate right now standing in the wreckage of their own distance. Realize today that they are vibrationally homeless without your presence. You are experiencing the reclaiming of the throne. Realize today that you do not have to wonder if they think about you because you have become the very air in their lungs. I want you to visualize yourself in this exact moment, sitting in your deep frequency, feeling a sudden, sharp sense of sacred immobility. You are the destination. You are the immovable center. They are realizing today that the important something they finally understand is that their life has become a waiting room, and you are the only door that leads to a real future. They are feeling a heavy, electric certainty in their blood. Realize today that the something that forced this final activation is the absolute, immovable truth that your self-sovereignty has grown so massive that it is now pulling them back through the fabric of time and space. If you are sitting in your own high-vibration sanctuary right now, feeling a sense of grounded, heavy power, and I am the source, it is because your energy has successfully acted as the vibrational judge of their worthiness. You have reached a level of frequency where you no longer have to seek. You are the one being sought. They are realizing today that they are soul-bound to the act of finding out where they stand with you, and they are feeling a wave of absolute, high intensity, all that you had the power to become so whole while they were falling apart. They are standing at the edge of the final surrender. Realize today that their wondering was a divine trap designed to bring them to their knees at the altar of your value. This is our final massive activation. The moment where we lock in your luminous power and tell the universe that the wondering is over and the return is inevitable. To seal this breakthrough, to signal to your soulmate's higher self that you are standing in the center of your luminous power, and to reclaim your position as the absolute destiny of their life, take a moment now. Breathe. Feel the calm, heavy authority of a chosen one who has already won the war. Not the battle, the war, not the skirmish. The victory, the wondering is over. The silence is not a question, it is an answer. And the answer is that you are not waiting, you are living. And your living is the most powerful force in their universe. Heart, with the quiet certainty of a soul that has done its work and can now rest in the outcome, declare this. I am the destiny they are terrified to lose. Not as a wish, as a fact, as the truth that has been written before either of you were born. Your energy is no longer a question in their mind. It is the final answer, not a guess, not a hope. The final answer. Feel the thick weight of this declaration. Feel the heat of their absolute obsession hitting your field. You are the standard. You are the throne. You are the one who changed everything. Not because you tried, because you showed up. Because you stayed in your light, because you refused to shrink, because you trusted the process even when the process made no sense. And now the process has produced its fruit. The wondering is over. The return is in motion. The love that was always meant to be is finally finding its way home. And so it is, not as a closing, as an opening, the beginning of the chapter you have been waiting for, the chapter where you stop wondering, the chapter where they start seeking, the chapter where the distance collapses and the truth is revealed. You are ready. They are not yet, but they are waking up. And waking up is the first step toward coming home. Go in peace. You are the destiny. You have always been the destiny. And now they are finally terrified of losing you, not terrified of you. Terrified of life without you. Terrified of the silence that no longer carries your longing. Terrified of the void where your energy used to live. Terrified that they have waited too long, stayed silent too long, protected their pride too long. And now the one person who made them feel alive, the one person who saw through every mask, the one person who held the key to their peace, has pulled their light back into their own center. And the light is still shining. But it is not shining for them. It is shining for you. And that is the most beautiful and terrifying thing they have ever witnessed. Beautiful because they cannot look away. Terrifying because they are no longer the reason it shines. So now you wait, but not in the old way, not in the anxious, hopeful, please let this be real way that has worn you out in the past. You wait in certainty. You wait in peace. You wait in the quiet confidence of someone who has felt the shift and knows that what is coming is already in motion. You do not need to check your phone every 5 minutes. You do not need to rehearse what you will say. You do not need to prepare yourself for disappointment. The wondering is over. The shift has happened. The return is in motion. The only thing left is the arrival. And when it arrives, when the message comes, when the call comes, when the words finally cross the distance, you will know. Not because of a sign, because of a feeling of home, a feeling of rightness, a feeling of peace after a long storm. The storm is almost over. The calm is coming, and the calm has your name on it. So breathe, let the certainty settle, let the peace sink in, let the waiting become a resting, not a striving. You have done your part, you have stayed in your light, you have refused to shrink, you have trusted the process. Now let the process complete itself. Let the wondering become the return. Let the return become the reunion. And let the reunion become the life you were always meant to live. You are not alone. You have never been alone. And you never will be. The same God who orchestrated this shift is orchestrating the return. The same God who brought you this far will carry you the rest of the way. The same God who knows your name knows their name. And He is working everything together for good. You are the destiny, not because you demanded it, because you became it, by healing, by growing, by refusing to chase, by standing in your light when everything in you wanted to shrink, by trusting the silence when the silence was the hardest thing you had ever endured. You became the destination. And now they are finding their way back. Not because you pulled them, because your light became the brightest thing in their darkness. And darkness, no matter how deep, cannot help but move toward light. So rest, not because everything is resolved, because you have done your part. The rest is in God's hands, and God's hands are the safest place for anything to be. Close your eyes. Let your body relax. Let your mind quiet. Let your heart rest in the knowledge that you are loved, that you are seen, that you are not forgotten, and that something beautiful is already on its way to you. You are not alone in this room tonight. You have never been alone. The same God who has been working behind the scenes of your life is with you right now, closer than your breath, closer than your heartbeat. He is not distant. He is not distracted. He is not disappointed in you. He is here, and he is smiling because he knows what is coming. He knows who is coming, and he cannot wait for you to see it. The wondering is over. The return is in motion, and love has finally found its way home. Go in peace. You are the destiny. You have always been the destiny, and now they are finally terrified of losing you. Amen.